And we are back. Black and a Half, episode number 125.
125.
That's right. I gotta get that.
I had to wait for that.
125. My name is Silas Lindenstein.
My name is Samantha Rund.
And this is Black and a Half, the longest running comedy podcast in Seattle. Probably. Yeah. We are here. We are interviewing. We have a very special guest for today. The very talented screen actress, screen producer, writer, Kelsi Umeko. She's here. Good friend of mine. Wonderful friends. We did a commercial together that never got aired. We did a T-Mobile commercial. I was cut out, but you know what? I got paid for both. So I got Kevin Costner in them, but I got paid. That's all right. We had her. She's back in Seattle, the Seattle area. She was down in LA for a while, and we recently did a panel together about BIPOC, which I learned the term just for the panel. It was a BIPOC panel of filmmakers in Seattle, and she was on it. And until then, I didn't realize she was back. And so then, not that it matters because we're all remote anyway, but for some reason, like, oh, you're back, you should come on the show. I mean, yeah, you could have done this in LA too, I guess, but that was a pre-COVID world and we didn't know better. So, yeah, she was on. Samantha?
Yes. I am here.
What did you learn today?
What did I learn? I mean,
what did you learn from the show?
Do you want me to the show? With the show. Oh my goodness, with the show. Well, I learned how amazing Kelsi is because it was our first time meeting and she's delightful, you guys. Seriously, like a ray of sunshine, smart, talented. You want to listen to this episode. But we talked about horror movies. We talked about Quibi. We talked about Quibi. Right. Of course, the famous 7 questions.
Yeah. The world famous. I want to say world famous 7 questions. Because we are, look, I don't want to brag right now, but we are a worldwide podcast now. Sure. A lot of it is in the U.S. But Samantha, do you want to guess what the number one country outside the U.S. for Black and a Half is? Wait, how many days? What should we look
Sweden.
Back? Wait, I'll just do the past year.
Sweden?
You're like Black and a Half in Sweden. That's your prediction? Okay, hold on. It's loading. Because I was like, I can't do the last week.
I'm like, fair. I have no idea. I know.
That's why it's
I don't know
guess.
What this is, which is great because I was actually curious. My guess is Sweden.
Okay, come on, it's loading. It's so much data.
Oh, wow. It's just
I will tell you,
just out of control. It's just outrageous.
It's like 58% on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, right. Alone. That's a country?
No.
Just kidding. I knew
just
that
letting
it
you
wasn't.
know.
I just felt like I had to get some filler going here,
2.6% on Stitcher. That's probably just me reloading it. I don't know why it's not.
People.
Okay. The number one country.
You like that I said that? I'm like, outside, you guys please don't leave.
The number one country outside of the United States in the last year, India.
India?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Followed closely by, actually not even close, but followed by Russia.
Well, that's exciting.
But that's just bots. I
wonder if that guy, I told you about that Russian guy who roasted me.
Oh.
Or no, I didn't. Maybe I didn't.
No,
it was like
I do improv, so I'm like, yes. And
it was like one stand-up video that I have, like one of them. He was like, why is she talking about being black? I'm Russian and I'm darker than she is. And I just saw it and I just was like, man, I couldn't even be mad. I just had to laugh. I'm like, oh, thanks for watching. I don't think I said anything, but
yeah. I get made fun of like that too.
Yeah.
Bastards.
But cool. They're checking it out.
India. So howdy. Delhi. That's the only city I know. Okay.
Mumbai.
Mumbai. Hey, big thank you to our Patreon Inner Circle members for your continued support. Big thanks to Tara Widener, Stephen Ward, and Keith Nagel. You are our Inner Circle members. You too could be you can be an Inner Circle member, or you could just become a regular member, which is the League of Extraordinary Listeners. Starting at just $1 a month, go to patreon.com/black&a-half and put in your monthly subscription. We do a show a week, so that's like a quarter per show.
That's a bargain.
Podcast. Right. And now I'm doing the review.
That's like an arcade. That's like the longest arcade game ever.
I'm also doing movie reviews now. So if you do the movie review episode, that's like 12.5 cents an episode. And you don't get that value of entertainment anywhere else unless you illegally pirate things. Right? So you could not illegally pirate things and support us, or keep breaking the law. It's up to you. Nobody cares. But thank you to the Patreon members for your continued support. And of course, if you can also support the show, go to iTunes. I keep saying this, and it's not called iTunes anymore. That's branding. That's good branding. Apple Podcasts. Go there, give us 5 stars, leave a review, and it helps people find out about the show. That's a great way to support us and Samantha. You know what they should do? They should tell us like a funny line from the show. That's
I know, because I love quotes so much that I want to hear their quotes too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do that. And today's show is brought to you again by Silas Gets Real at Skyline Properties. If you are looking to buy or sell a home in the Seattle, Washington area, please email me at silas@blackandahhalf.com or silas@silasgetsreal.com and hook you up and get your house sold or get your house bought. One of the two. Or you can also go to
Beyond Technique Coaching if you're looking for a coach to help you with your voice, body, mind connection to bring more of yourself to your life and work, performance, non-performance, public speaking, personal development, all of that. And then also check out my podcast for that called Beyond Technique with Samantha Rund. I have on some absolutely incredible guests. This past week, I had on Kathy Madden, Alexander Guru, Alexander Teacher. I mean, we refer to her as Yoda. No, Kathy Madden. It's incredible. Wait. If you don't know about the Alexander Technique or you just want a refresher, check it out.
Hold on. Did you say one name or was that 2 episodes?
That I just talked so fast, I don't know what I said.
Okay. So what's her name?
So the episode on Beyond Technique with me, Samantha Rund, is with Kathy Madden. We talk about the Alexander Technique.
Oh, I thought it was a Kathy Madden Alexander Technique.
Oh, yeah.
Like
no, I talked way too fast.
It's like, whoa, that's a long name.
But you'll love her, Silas, because she's fondly referred to as Yoda. And you'll see why. Well, yeah.
And then coming up, episode number 126 this week. That is a movie review episode. We're going to be chatting about the new Netflix film starring Tom Holland, The Devil All the Time. And then 2 documentaries, one on Amazon Prime, All In, The Fight for Democracy. And again on Netflix, the documentary, The Social Dilemma. So if you haven't seen those yet and don't want to get spoiled, go and watch those real quick and then listen to the episode. Or skip it. Come back next week and we'll have a wonderful guest that we're going to talk to. But now we're going to talk to this guest, our good friend, future Hall of Famer, episode 125, Kelsi Umeko.
Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by to receive our transmission.
You know, Kelsi, you have children. I've been on a couple panels with Kelsi, and I've never seen a child attack her during this, and that's an unusual thing for me. Like we weekly have a child come in the middle of the podcast. How do you get them out?
Well, Paxton is only 4 months old. And then Keo is 7 years old. And then he's in the industry too. So I'm like, all right, this is actually an important Zoom meeting. So you can't come in.
Ah, nice.
We just busted out an audition real fast right before this because it just came through.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, we have 15 minutes to get this done. Let's do it.
For him? Is it for him?
Yeah, both of us.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You get to do a lot together?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been told that my kids don't look like me, so I'll never get cast with them probably. But
your kids do look like
no,
you,
they
Silas.
don't. No, not TV wise.
Especially your little
not
boy.
TV wise.
Yeah.
Kelsi, are your children? Do they look Asian-ish?
Keo looks, he definitely looks like mixed. He's so ambiguous though.
Okay.
So not impaired. He could pass as almost anything.
I don't think they would book me and my daughter in the same thing because I think she's too light-skinned for me.
I hope
if they give you a white wife, I mean, come on, Silas.
But they won't.
You don't know that.
Well, maybe.
And it's 2020.
Don't you remember that Cheerios commercial? They need another commercial to get angry about.
No, he was black, though. He was black. The problem is, if you watch things, you do not see two mixed couples together.
Well,
you don't see two mixed people in a couple in a relationship together. Usually it's one is black, one is white, or it's very, very different, but they don't. I have never even been paired in an audition with someone that's mixed. They're not counting. They don't cast like that. They don't cast like real. So then they end up casting someone like completely different race, obviously, or not. And I think that's actually a problem for me is they like, depending who's running the, well, what is he? I don't know. Just somebody else. We can't do this. Mm-hmm. I've heard though that a lot of times when they, like I got like I was down to the wire, the last 5 people for some car commercial, but it was going to be for Telemundo. Right. So, but I was told that basically they were deciding whatever kid they chose was going to decide which couple.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So they decide who whatever the cutest kid is dictates who gets the job. So apparently my
depending on who the hero role is, I guess they do that. If it's for the kid, then they'll match the adult to the kid. I feel like though it's 2020 and like I feel like I would like to see more families that look like there could be adopted kids in the family, you know?
Hey, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, if you guys saw Social Dilemma, that family is so put together. And I was like,
I'm only partly through.
Silas, I watched the Social Dilemma and I've only got like 30 minutes left of the democracy.
Okay. I'm the opposite.
I know. I'm just just a heads up.
Okay.
Yeah. I just watched the Social Dilemma yesterday, Kelsi. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
It is.
It's so good.
We'll be doing that for our movie review later this week.
Yeah.
Subscribe. The social, everything. I don't even know though how I would function. Right? I'm watching this and going, yeah, it sounds horrible. I wish this wasn't being shown during COVID when my only way to communicate is with social media. So yeah, I'm just going to do it because what am I going to do? Call Samantha?
Ugh. Well,
no,
okay.
I got to tag her in a post.
I'm supposed to save this for next time, and thank you for tagging me. But I'm supposed to save this for like that episode, but it wasn't saying like we have to get rid of social media. So anyway,
it's warning. I don't know, but plenty of people are posting now. They're saying, I'm out of here. Sorry, I watch social media. I'm gone.
Well,
just figured it out.
I would have been gone ages ago from social media if I wasn't in this arts.
Really?
Oh my goodness. Seriously? With my hermit-like tendencies, I would be so...
What are you going to do? Are you just going to like...
I would call only a certain group of people.
Would you be cutting magazines out of quotes you liked and putting them on your wall?
Yes. Yes, you would be receiving them and it would look like a serial killer, except for it was like nothing but inspirational. But they cut this out and they clearly had on gloves. Yes, they were following COVID protocols. So
okay. My wife has she has 2 cards like on taped to her dashboard ever since I met her.
I love it.
They're like inspirational. I don't even remember what they are now, but they're inspirational quotes that are on her, like the passenger side, which I've always found funny because I'm like, you can't read them. Why are they over there? And you shouldn't.
To inspire your passengers.
It's always funny. But now they're like, I'm like, you gotta rip. So they're like, let's see, we got married almost 8 years ago, right? So 2020, yeah. So they've been on there at least since 2009. They're like 10-year-old cards. I'm like, we got to get rid of these, but they're probably the tape and glue underneath them.
Do you know what? It's going to be like faded, like
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look like pristine underneath those.
Right.
Or like a silly putty type thing where you put the silly putty on newspaper and then.
Oh, yeah. It transfers.
We'll have to go buy new cards.
I had just collaged with my 7-year-old and I actually cut out all the little letters from his like highlight magazine. I just went through and I cut out letters that I thought looked cool. And then I was spelling words with them. And I totally had that thought. I'm like, this looks like a serial killer letter from the NCIS or something. So it's funny that you said that because I just looked at it today.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about sending one of those collages in a long time. You know, oh boy.
Did
baby feet.
Of what? Did you
get these when you have a baby? The hospital gives you these amazing water jugs that you try and keep and preserve for the rest of your life.
What? That's amazing.
Did you two watch the Emmys at all? Like, I didn't even know they were going to be on, except that I accidentally saw like them on the TV guide.
Wait, when were they?
They were Sunday
night, right?
I just got an email today that there was a production that was a part of that won an Emmy. So I get an Emmy certificate.
Hey.
Emmy winner.
Awesome. Congrats.
Yeah.
Emmy winner.
I was like,
Kelsi
what the heck?
That's awesome. It wasn't a comedy then, I know, right?
No, it was. Did you watch the Emmys?
Yeah, well, because I know it's a comedy because Schitt's Creek won every single comedy award. Every one.
I've heard so many good things.
It's a funny show, but it was shocking. It was wow. This was great. It was one of the blackest Emmys. They had the most black nominees ever.
Good.
Didn't win any in comedy. They all went to the Canadian Schitt's Creek. There was one black, Regina King won for Watchmen.
Good.
The black person that won.
She's so great.
Yeah, but Schitt's Creek, it was just crazy because they just kept, it was the first 8 or 9 awards. Just kept Schitt's Creek.
Wow.
Schitt's Creek. It was like, oh, this is.
It's because the people just wanted to say that over and over again.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh man, I have to watch it. I haven't.
It was clever. I did like one thing they did.
I haven't seen it.
Jimmy Kimmel came out and did his monologue, and they're showing an audience, and it's like, huh, weird. And then you're like, wait a second, that seems odd. Like they're not responding to that. And then you realize, then he has a bit where Jimmy Kimmel's laughing in the audience and he's like, wait, that's me. But that means nobody's here. And then they showed it was nobody. And they're like, that would be insane if we did that.
But they just got like a takeaway of like Shia LaBeouf just getting up and clapping.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was fun. It was fun to watch. I don't know if they're normally this time of year or if they got delayed or.
I don't know.
I don't even know what time of year it is right now. Like apparently fall just started.
Yeah,
but,
first day of fall.
I mean, that's good news though, right? I love like fall air, especially like we weren't able to breathe last week, right? And now we can breathe and it's like also fall air. It's like crisp and just, but yeah, how rude of me to not ask you more questions about your Emmy experience, Kelsi.
Oh, do you guys know Hit Record? It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's company that he does. It's a production company. So I got an email from them today. I don't know if you saw it on the Emmys last night.
I haven't seen it, but I know who he is. So I was like, okay. Yeah.
I used to do a lot more things on that website, on that platform, but been a little busy the last.
I think that might be one of the
That's awesome. Congrats, though.
The awards that have, because there's like a whole set of awards that they do off camera.
Oh yeah, totally. That would probably be enough.
So, do you guys know Quibi? Have you heard of Quibi? Mm-hmm. It's an app, and it's TV shows, but they're like less than 10 minutes. The whole idea why they made them was to make shows that you could watch between like classes on break. So you're just like on your way to class, you can watch a Quibi show, not knowing there'd be no classes.
Oh, because I'm like, who are these kids that don't have to go to the bathroom with these amazing bladders?
College, between class.
Oh, okay, they get more than a 10-minute break.
So they're actually, I'm watching one. It's really, I'm actually watching two. They're really good, and it's really tight writing. Like they're episodes, but it's like like they're each little short films, because they're just like.
Oh, that's cool.
So the writing has to be tight, and you're like, oh, right into it. You guys are just right into this, and I'm like, oh, this is great. As we're about to do the 48-hour film project, thinking about how to write something really tight and how it doesn't have to be long, and just get into it. You don't have to. I'm watching this one called Flipped. It's a goofy show about wannabe house flippers. Like they want to be HGTV hosts, right? And how they get to the point normally would take like 20 minutes in a movie, right? To get to this spot. But they kind of have to establish that they're both like weirdos in like short 30-second bits so that they can get them together and teach. And I was like, that was beautiful and perfect the way you did that. And for me, I'm like enjoying it more from a writing standpoint.
Yeah.
Even though it's really funny. And but I reckon I don't know how much it costs, but it's like a 7-day free trial. So that's why I'm watching. It's not like Netflix level of content as far as how much is on there. So I was like, well, I'm going to go through this
how long has
quick.
It been around, right?
Six months or something. Yeah. But I don't know how many shows you should start with when you start a new network. I don't know.
All of them.
So, but I would check it out for the free trial at least, because it's some good stuff and stuff we could be making this. We could be making this.
That's right.
I was gonna say that it's good to find platforms like that need more content, so you can keep them in mind. Yeah. If you write a quick little series, you can pitch them your series.
Yeah.
Or at 10 minutes long, you can just film your series and then send it.
And it doesn't have to be a web series, right? It doesn't have to be a web series. You can try to get it on the platform like this or something.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You're where are you now?
I'm in Seattle, back in Seattle.
Okay. Now, would you consider yourself an LA filmmaker right now, or are you a Seattle filmmaker?
Seattle filmmaker. Okay. I've only,
Does LA know that you're up here? Or
LA knows.
You pretend that you're down there still, like, oh yeah, can we do it tomorrow? Tomorrow I can come down.
No, because my manager down there, he knows how we are with the COVID and everything, having a newborn at home. So I'm like, I can't really fly down there right now for work.
Okay.
Unless it's like an amazing, huge opportunity, but I'm not going to go down for like a commercial.
Yeah. I've laughed at my manager when he's like, do you want to do this extra thing? But no. Call me when Portlandia comes back. Then I'll risk it for that. But do you have a production company, right? Like
yes.
You're
yeah.
You're producing.
Mm-hmm.
You're shut down right now, I would guess.
So I am kind of in the works on a pre-production of a feature film that I would love to make.
Okay.
So I'm in the works on that right now, which COVID's the perfect time for pre-production because it's just a lot of paperwork and So, but yeah, even when we lived in LA, we came up here to film. So
okay. When did you start the production company?
In 2018, I want to say, maybe 2017, maybe 2017. Yeah.
What was the impetus? Impetus. That was not Freudian. That was just me not knowing words. The impetus.
It's okay. I thought that was the correct use of that word.
Okay. I didn't even hear you correctly. So thank you for letting us know.
Well, when people are listening to it and all they hear is the words, they'll catch more. What made you want to start it? I'll just use like a company. Was there any particular thing? Because you seem really busy.
Yeah. So Kurt was working on I think it was a show or a film. I can't remember, but he met our friend Alex, who directed and also co-produced the feature film that we wrote and made. But because of that, then we were like, okay, well, we need a production company because of legality issues and stuff like that. So when we wrote and shot that feature film, we then got it distributed. So it was very important to have a production company. Mm-hmm. And then from then we're like, all right, well, let's start creating stories that we think are fun and interesting. And yeah.
Now, so Samantha doesn't know. I haven't told her about you. Kelsi, I've considered since I met you on set for a moving company or something.
Ghost Truck app.
Ghost Truck. That never aired.
Was Ghost Truck? Was it anything like Ghost Ship? If you guys have not seen that movie yet, treat yourself. No. It is ridiculous.
It's like a moving company, and we did a commercial all day, and it never aired. But Kelsi and her husband are like, I think of them as the hardest working actors like I've ever met. Like they're just like constantly searching for gigs and like on gig. You're shaking your head, but you're busy all the time. Like you're that, and I'm like, like she was telling me like they were just working as actors in Seattle, and I'm like, how? And she's like, well, we just go in here, look for this, and I'm like, what? Like I had no idea how she was even finding these things, and she got me on a T-Mobile commercial. Like, yeah,
you got yourself on the T-Mobile commercial.
No, I have the message. It's like almost our last message together was you said, hey, somebody, I sent your picture to somebody. Do you want to? Are you free this day? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I meet so many people that want to be doing this or say they want to, but they don't really do anything.
You know why I shake my head no, actually, is because like in LA, it is like a nonstop grind. And like for us being a family and having like, and also like church, like God comes first, family comes, second, career comes after that. So that's our priority in our life. So in LA, it is like career. So like I'm talking like people that like that are my friends that are down in LA working, like, man, they hustle. Like they make us look like we just sit on the couch all day and do nothing.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding you. That's why I'm like, no, we are not the hardest working actors. Yeah.
Were you always an actor?
No. So when I was pregnant with Keo, I was a dental hygienist. Even before that.
I remember that. But you didn't act before that, like in high school or anything, or?
No. I did like when I was younger, I'm talking like second grade. I had like I have big teeth, but they were buck teeth. And for some reason, and half of my head was my bangs. And I felt like it was like this really awkward childhood stage. And for some reason, when I'd go places, people would be like, will your daughter model for our store? And so I kind of fell into modeling a little bit during that stage. And then I got braces and corrected my teeth, and then I stopped. But then I became a dental hygienist. And then when I was pregnant with Keo, that was like my first job, because Philips was doing an ultrasound photo shoot and they needed a pregnant person. So I did like a little model gig there. And then after I had Keo, I was at home with him, and my aunt, who's an agent, was like, hey, you're at home. I'm going to start submitting you to things. And luckily, like, diversity and commercials started really taking off that year. That was in 2013. I would say that there was a big push to have more diversity in commercials.
Okay.
And so because of that, like, I kind of just started working nonstop from then. But Ghost Truck app, I'm so glad that commercial did not air, because that was my very first commercial gig with lines. And I was so nervous that I don't even know, like, it probably turned out so terrible. It's probably because of me that it didn't air.
No. I doubt that. Wow, I had no idea that was your first thing. You had already.
Yeah.
So, wow. See, that's what happens when optimism. She's had optimism still, right? And just pushed through it. I got jaded early through theater. And that's why I was like, yeah, if someone calls me, I'll go do something. But I don't put the effort in.
Well, this is also our full-time job, both me and Kurt. And so there has to be a little bit of.
You had to be getting work enough to say, like, well, I'm going to make this my full-time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what made you decide just to jump and not go back to hygienisting?
Well, hygiene, I just stayed at home with Keo. So mine was a different transition. But for Kurt, he was turning down jobs because of his full-time job. And that's when we were like, all right, we've been praying that you could do this full time. And like, God's totally answering that. And you're basically being like, I don't want to take that leap. And so I was like, you know what? I think, like, right now it's like, I feel like the signs are there that, like, you're turning down commercials and film and things that you're passionate about to go to a job that you're not happy at. Mm-hmm. And so from there he quit, and then,
Okay. And then LA, and then you decided just leap. Was it for the work or the?
Yeah. So Kurt was like, he's from Indiana. So he was like miserable. Like when people don't grow up in Seattle, the weather just like gets to you. And so he, one, has always wanted to live in California. Yeah. And then two, he was like, I feel like we're being called down to California, like, because we were working a bunch up here. Our resumes were pretty built up here. Mm-hmm. And randomly before we moved down, a management company had called and contacted me and said, hey, like, if you come down to LA, we want to represent you. But so we packed up our house. Actually, we emptied our house, sold all of our stuff, packed whatever could fit in our car. Kurt drove down. I flew down with Keo, and then we started working down there.
And then of course, babies. So you had to come back up.
Well, no, we already had a baby at that point. We had Keo, who was 3 years old. So imagine moving.
Wait, was that wait, it's been 4 years?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Wow.
So we moved down when Keo was 3. And in fact, Keo's also in the industry. And so he really loves it. Keo almost got booked as a series regular on a Fox show while we were down there. He got all the way to like the test shoot round. So it was like him and one other kid. We're like, of course he's going to make it before us. I mean, he's had by far like the biggest auditions compared to me and Kurt, like big auditions.
Well, there is an advantage to
being ambiguous.
Being a kid, if they're going to book something that takes place or they need a kid for it, they can't just keep getting Macaulay Culkin, right? They have to like find a new 8-year-old. They're always looking for that new kid age. Like even high school. I was saying on one of the review episodes about what I love about the senior year in high school movies is it's often new actors because they need new people to play these. So when I watch them, I'm like, you almost feel like it's more real because you don't know the actors, right? So you have no prejudgment on them. So it seems like a defining role or something. So I was thinking about that, like, so I guess for your kid, it makes sense that there's going to be more opportunity because, for people like us, they're like, well, we got some of you. We'll just book them. We don't need another yet.
Well, plus he also has like the knowledge that you and your husband have too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's really cool is watching him is he really just plays and he goes with like what he wants to do. And like sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure because the direction isn't there, but then they like love it because it's just so real and so genuine and he's just like living,
That's awesome.
My 4-year-old, sometimes I'm like, I need to study her for acting and freedom and just the way she improvs. Like I should, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let's sure. There's stars over there. She likes to go on these walks where we go to the zoo. It's an imaginary zoo. And so we go over there and she's like, look, the squirrel, not the squirrels. Did you say the bears?
You're trying to pick an animal that she can't see.
Yeah. She's like the bears. Like,
bears.
Look, they're in a tree. I'm like, honey, you see the penguins? They're swimming. She's like, yeah. Oh my gosh. They're so cute.
I know. I love it. It's like you can learn so much by just watching a kid and like learning how to play again, learning how to see a world that's not there, using your imagination. So.
And they're pure with their wants, how they just walk up and like, will you play with me? I want to play.
Yes.
They're not passive aggressive. So since you discovered it later, you didn't go to formal training then, right?
No, I took classes when I was in LA with not like at any schools or, like a bachelor's degree or a master's in fine art. I didn't get anything like that. No. But I took a lot of really good classes by people that were like, series regulars in TV shows, like in their careers in the industry. And
did Henry Winkler, was he your teacher down there?
I didn't take a class by him.
Okay. Nobody said anyone watch Barry? No? Okay.
I was
on the queue.
Right over my head.
Yeah. No, Barry. I love that show. As soon as you said acting class, that's what I thought of. Remember Talir? Talir's on that. She was on.
I know that was exactly what I was thinking about. Her picture in the classroom. Yeah,
that's right. Awesome. So are you back up for Seattle because of COVID or because of baby?
No. So we decided to move back up last year, and at the same time, we also wanted to expand our family, but that happened like maybe 2 months after being back. So so we started trying, and then I got pregnant like shortly, maybe a couple months after that. Yep.
So do you have a plan to deal with the rain for Mr. Indiana? Yeah. What trips to the east side? What do you do?
Well, usually what we do is every winter we fly south and we stay somewhere sunny for like 2 weeks. But
really?
Yeah. But this year, not going to happen.
Well, yeah, everything's on fire.
Ideally, it would be nice, though, to be able to like book a feature or book a show and work down in LA for like the winter months.
Yeah.
Come back up.
That'd be ideal. What, so are you sending the baby out on auditions yet? Is that?
So our family booked a job when he was 2 months old.
I can't even be sarcastic with you. You actually do it.
He had an audition when he was 4 days old.
Your baby's getting more work than I am.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can barely move because I had a C-section.
Oh.
I'm like, let me try to present myself.
You are dedicated to.
But yeah, we're being very selective right now on jobs that we're taking and that we feel comfortable doing, based off of what the production company is going to be doing as far as like COVID protocols. Just because we have a newborn, we're just extra, careful.
I keep forgetting. I'm like, I did 2 panels with you, so I'm like blending in what happened at I didn't ask your movie that you did complete. That's available now, right?
Yes, it's called Sacred. It's a horror film, and it's on Amazon Prime, Vudu, like Xbox, Google Play, iTunes.
Amazon Prime. Everyone will watch it.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Get it there.
What are you, a horror buff? Are you a horror?
No,
okay.
No, not at all. We did it strategically. So horror films are easiest to sell worldwide.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because
Samantha, take note.
Yeah.
Because, I knew that actually.
Come on, lady. Well,
I didn't know you
working together. Come on.
Well, you didn't ask me.
Let's make you should know by now.
Okay. So make a horror film. Okay. Filmmakers, take note.
Yeah, because they're easiest to distribute because of, the language barrier doesn't really matter too much to.
Everybody understands murder.
Uh-huh. Everyone understands being scared of a masked killer.
So did you write it? Were you the writers for it?
Yes. So this was crazy. So I hope this inspires a lot of people, though, to get out and just film things. But we were approached by the director. He has a friend that's a producer, and his friend that's a producer was like, hey, I want to sell a horror feature film. Do you have people that that would want to work on this? So he approaches Kurt and I, who have never written really anything. And he's like, hey, do you guys want to make a horror feature film? Can you write one? And I'm like, sure. So we write a feature film. It's horror. Okay. So there's a lot of, and the way that we shot it was very like skeleton crew, so it wasn't like your typical screenplay where there's all
it's a horror. You should have a skeleton crew.
So after, I think it was written in like a week and registered with the WGA. And then we were like, all right, when do you want to film this? He was like, next month. So we had like 3 weeks to book our flights back up to Seattle, figure out how we're going to film this. And we did some blocking in LA while we were all three there, so that when we did shoot our feature, we shot it in 5 days. We did one pickup day in LA because feature films have to be how many minutes long? I think 78 minutes long or something, really, to do a really good sale on it. It has to be a certain minute amount. I can't remember, but we were just shy of that. So we had to do one pickup day and add a scene to it, which worked out because it's a horror film. You can kind of sometimes slide things in there.
Yeah.
But it was a great learning experience.
How How do you just have someone walk up to you and say, "Hey, want to shoot?" Like, how did you know the person?
LA. Kurt was working with him on a film. I think it was a film or a show. I can't remember now. They were working together. And so he was doing, I think, B camera. And so he was the one that was like, hey, I want to do this. Like, let's make it happen. I'm not kidding you. People in LA will like bust out like 40 episodes of a show and then try and sell. Like, I'm not kidding you. People like have they're hustlers.
That's crazy.
Too, I mean, but yeah.
In 5 days?
Yeah. So we only had 5 days. I feel
lazy now. I'm just lazy.
I feel lazy when I think about that again too, because I haven't done that since. But he was on a show. He was working on a show as camera. And so he could only take off 5 days. So that's why we were like, yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That sounded like some Tyler Perry speed right over there.
Seriously. Without breaking the union laws. I'm guessing it was non-union, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So what was it? Did they tell you like anything it should be about or just horror? And you were like, you got to go from there.
Yeah. He was just like, horror genre. It's easiest to sell. Like,
so what made you decide it's easiest? I'm all worried about like, what will I say as an artist? Like, just write something, get it out there.
Just do it.
And murder people, and then they'll sell it, and everyone will watch it. Just have lots of blood. What made you think of the story? Did anything inspire you, or time?
Yeah. What film was it that I'm brain farting? I have like such bad mom brain at times. I did watch a film and it inspired the story, and then I like literally it came to me and I just like wrote down like almost all of it at first on my iPhone in my notes.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay, yes, this is good. This is simple. This is doable. We can do this.
I will say too, I do think there's something I'm just like imagining myself telling people, like if I made a horror, I think people get a little more interested too when you say like, oh, I wrote a horror film about, and they're like, oh, really? And if you say like, oh, I wrote a comedy, and like, yeah, whatever. I see comedies all the time. And also, like, some people just won't see a horror. So, it's not like, they're like, oh, no, okay, cool. I'm not going to watch it. And some people just love horror, like genre. So they'll just float it. I mean, there's a whole TV, a cable station for horror.
Yeah.
The news?
Oh, I know.
C-SPAN? It's called C-SPAN?
Too real. So true.
I was about to say they don't have like a station dedicated to comedy other than
Comedy Central.
Damn it. But I'm like, but people really will pay for the horror one. Like,
yeah, I am a big wimp, and so I don't like horror films. I like psychological thrillers, but like horror films that have to do with like ghosts and stuff like that, I can't function afterwards. So
how did you do a horror film hating horror?
I know it's easier.
Like, was it easier since you weren't watching, that there wasn't the suspense or anything?
Yeah, because a big part of horror is like the music and the the sound design. It like, mentally kind of gets you to where you're like, oh, something bad's gonna happen.
And there's not a boom mic over you.
Yeah, silent, You're thinking about,
I'm thinking of like, if I was watching, I wonder if I'd be less scared watching a movie, like a horror movie, if someone was sitting there with a boom mic over me just to capture. I don't know why they're there, but just like, okay, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Mike. Get this mic away from me. Okay, hey, Kelsi, the first time people come on the show, we have 7 questions that we like to ask you. and these are the world famous 7 questions. Okay, around the world.
When, where, why?
No. So just answer them the best. There's no wrong answer. Unless they are. Okay. Here we are. And then one day we're gonna have like a little music to bring it in. Like, I
can't believe we're already at this part already. I just looked at the time because I'm like, wow.
I'm trying to keep it on track. Try and keep it on track this time. Also, this is like my.
No, I'm saying it. The conversation's been so delightful. I'm surprised that it's time. Go ahead with your famous 7 questions. I'll shut up.
I've been Zooming for 5 hours now. I never thought I would get. I had a Zoom conference call this today, and then a panel. I'm just like, oh my god!
Thank goodness for Zoom, you don't even have to put like proper pants on in the daytime, and you can get a lot more done.
I like how you said proper.
Yeah.
I don't need pants.
I've got on bloomers.
Just got my kilt on. All right.
Kilt.
Number 1. What are you most nerdy about?
Ooh. I like being a dental hygienist background. I love like nerdy things like science stuff, which I don't think it's nerdy. I think it's cool.
Science?
Science.
Oh, science? Okay. What's something that you love to eat?
Oh man, so many things. Broccoli. No, I'm just joking.
I was like, how do you like it? Steamed?
Oh, air fried with balsamic vinegar, olive oil, Parmesan cheese. Ate that.
See?
No, I love Thai food.
Sesame oil.
I'll say Thai food.
Thai food?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thai food. Okay.
What's your favorite Thai dish?
Pad see ew.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm probably saying it the wrong way. I don't know.
But yeah. It's pronounced number 4.
Number 4, 2.5 stars.
Number 4 with chicken.
Yeah.
That's okay. Sidebar. That's my tester dish for all new Thai places.
Really?
I'll always get it because I find if I like it there, I'll like the rest of the food at about the same level as the put see ew. That's I have different tester dishes for different types of food.
Put see ew.
Number 4.
Number 4.
What's something that you love to drink?
I love water, and I always usually infuse it with a tea bag. Tazo tea, passion fruit.
But you do that when the water's cool? I've never done tea in cool water before.
Yes, it's like my thing. I love it. Uh-huh.
How long do you have to infuse it before you can enjoy it? I have so much tea in my house, so I'm like,
no, I always
right away.
I always just throw a tea bag in my water and just drink it and keep refilling. And then once it loses its flavor, then I put a new one in.
Mm.
And I don't wait. I just start drinking it.
Nice.
What kind of music do you love?
I mostly listen to like worship music.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I really listen to now. But I like everything. I also like oldies. Oldies are really fun.
So
like Temptations.
Oh, nice. I was just curious, a particular style for the worship music?
I'll listen to like Hillsong, or I like Lauren Daigle.
Is that more kind of like pop or like easy listening or like heavy metal worship?
No, not heavy metal.
I know, I'm teasing about the heavy metal. But I want, because that's what it makes me think of, is more like a sort of like pop genre for the worship music versus like gospel or a cappella or.
Oh, I'm so bad with music. I'm like, I don't know. These are basic things that I should know what the genre sounds like, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like pop, but would it be more like R&B of worship music?
I don't know. I'm curious now.
We'll have to look up those.
Yeah, we'll have to look up the artists.
What do you love to create?
What do I love to create? I love to cook.
Okay.
So if you know the show Chopped, I like to create new dishes out of different random recipes. So we play a lot of Chopped in our house.
Like random ingredients then?
Oh yeah, random ingredients.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes.
Oh, that's fine. Like candy corn?
I haven't done a candy corn one, but we'll do because we're going to be eating the dish. Okay, so our son also loves to play this game. So my husband will pick 4 random ingredients, but it might be croissant and steak and yogurt and I don't know, polenta or something.
Okay.
Those are the 4 so you can kind of make a dish that tastes good.
Okay.
But I love to create that. I love to obviously create films.
Mm-hmm.
I love to work. I'm missing that right now.
Okay. What's a game you love to play?
Oh, I love Rummy Cube. I'm pretty good at it.
Rummy Cube?
Oh, and I also like Code Names.
Code Names? Okay, I know Code Names. Rummy Cube?
Yeah, it's number tiles, and you have to kind of arrange them to get rid of all your tiles. I don't really know how to explain games very well. It's kind of confusing.
No, that's cool. Because the only Rummy I know is the card game.
Mm-hmm.
But you can play Rummy Cube by yourself?
No, you have to play with other players.
Huh.
But I think it is kind of like gin rummy in the sense that you try and make a straight or, 3 of a kind. Yeah.
That sounds fun.
All right. And last question. In 100 years, when someone reads your biography, what do you want to be remembered for?
I feel like I would most want to be remembered for being loving towards other people and just being kind, generally towards other people.
That's awesome. Kelsi, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And where can people check you out? They can check out your film on Amazon. Do you have a website or an Insta? You got an Insta handle?
I have an Instagram, Kelsi Umeko. But I am totally one of those people that just saw Social Dilemma and I'm not getting on any of my my social medias.
So you can see what Kelsi used to be up to.
Yeah.
Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by, stand by.